Hello everyone, welcome to the chemistry class. Today I am going to explain the abnormal colligative property. In last video I already discussed about the rest of the colligative properties like osmotic pressure, lowering of vapor pressure, elevation of boiling point and depression of freezing point. What do you understand by the abnormal colligative property? Listen, the colligative properties depend on the number of solute particles present in the definite amount of volume. But when we talk about the abnormal colligative property is only valid for those molecules which gives association or dissociation in aqueous solution. Normal colligative property does not depend on the structure, composition and the nature of solid particles. Whenever the solid particles gets dissociated or associated in aqueous solution, then the number of solid particles either increased or decreased. So as a result, the colligative properties of solid particles are changed. That means in such condition, the colligative properties are different in case of dissociation and association. When we talk about the dissociation, first of all, what is called dissociation? Dissociation means whenever any electrolyte gets dissolved in aqueous solution, then it is split into two or more ions. That is called dissociation. Clear? Listen, look at the board. Dissociation, for example, when sodium chloride NaCl, for example, like sodium chloride gets dissociated in aqueous solution, it is split into its counter ions, means Na plus and Cl minus. Clear? Suppose that 2 moles of sodium chloride is taken in aqueous solution, which gives 2 moles of sodium ion and similarly 2 moles of chloride ion. Means it results when 2 moles of sodium chloride gets ionized, it gives 4 moles of ions in aqueous solution, and we know that the molar mass is inversely proportional to colligative property. Clear? So when we observe the actual molecular mass of sodium chloride, actual molar mass of sodium chloride, sodium whose atomic mass is 23 and chlorine 35.5, which is equals to 58.5. But in case of ions, now the colligative property is doubled because of ions. Double ions are obtained. That means the observed colligative property or molar mass is 58.5 divided by 2, that is 29.25. This is the observed colligative property, which depends on the number of ions present in aqueous solution. If we have taken another example of dissociation like sodium phosphate Na3PO4, whenever the sodium phosphate gets ionized, then it gives 3 moles of sodium ion and 1 mole of phosphate ion. Clear? Suppose that 2 moles of sodium phosphate is taken in aqueous solution which gets ionized, it forms 3 into 2 means 6 moles. Clear? And 1 moles of phosphate ion, means the total moles of sodium phosphate is 7 moles. Clear? Now means it has been observed the total number of ions is in the aqueous solution, which is dependent on The colligative property means the colligative property is actually depends on the number of solid particles in case of non-ionized molecule. When the molecule is ionized, then actually it depends on the number of ions present in aqueous solution. It is a process of dissociation. When we talk about the association, association means when the molecule gets associated with each other to form a single molecule. Suppose that when 2 moles of acetic acid is dissolved in organic solvent like benzene, then it gets dimerized. Dimerized means CS3 COOH whole twice. That means that is a process of association. Clear? In such condition, the molecules present in aqueous solution is decreased. Clear? The actual molar mass of acetic acid is 60. But when it gets associated, so the observed molar mass is just 60, 1 by 2. That means it is equals to 120. This is the actual why the molecular mass is changed due to the number of ions after association or dissociation gets changed. To determine the exact colligative property of solid particles which gets dissociated or associated in aqueous solution, the new term Van 't Hoff factor has been introduced. What is Van 't Hoff factor? I. It is represented by I, and the Van 't Hoff factor means I, the number of particles after dissociation upon the number of particles before dissociation. This formula is valid for when the complete ionization of electrolyte is taken. Clear? For example, like sodium chloride. This is a simple example. Sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is considered to be strong electrolyte. Clear? That means whenever the sodium chloride is taken in aqueous solution, it is considered as a complete ionization. Means it gives Na plus and Cl minus. Clear? So when we calculate the Van 't Hoff factor for sodium chloride, then I is equals to the number of particles after dissociation. The number of particles after dissociation is 2, and the number of particles before dissociation, that is 1. Clear? Means I is equals to 2. When we talk about aluminium sulfate, formula Al2SO4 whole thrice, it gives 2 moles of aluminium ion and 3 moles of sulfate ions. Clear? Here, when we calculate the Van 't Hoff factor for this equation, clear, the number of ions or number of particles after dissociation, 2 moles of aluminium and 3 moles of sulfate. That means the total number of particles after dissociation is 5. And before dissociation, that is 1. So the Van 't Hoff factor for this equation is 5. Clear? And Van 't Hoff factor I is also equals to experimental value of colligative property upon normal value of colligative property. Clear? This formula is also valid. Means experimental value of colligative property and normal value of colligative property. Means experimental value means the given value, and normal value when we calculate this value by calculation. Now the calculation of want of factor for an electrolyte. For electrolyte are the substances which gives cations and anions in aqueous solution. Clear? Then how will you calculate the want of factor for such electrolytes? Listen, for suppose that when we have taken initially sodium chloride as an electrolyte. Clear? When the sodium chloride is dissolved in aqueous solution, then it gives sodium ion and chloride ion. Clear? Initially when we have taken the sodium chloride, then it is considered as 1 mole. Clear? That means 0 0. Got it? And suppose that its degree of dissociation is 100%, means the degree of dissociation of sodium chloride is alpha. Clear? So the alpha gets dissociated. Then the alpha gets dissociated, that means alpha is from sodium ion and same chloride ion. Now the want of factor I, which is equals to total number of moles at equilibrium. This is the initial stage at T equals to 0, and this is at equilibrium. Got it? Now the total number of moles at equilibrium, that means 1 minus alpha for sodium chloride, alpha and alpha. Clear? That means alpha cancel, then I is equals to 1 plus alpha. I is a want of factor where alpha is the degree of dissociation. Clear? When we talk about another example like calcium nitrate, CaNO3 whole twice. When it is dissolved in aqueous solution, then it forms calcium ion and 2 moles of nitrate ion. Clear? Similarly, at T equals to 0, 1 mole is taken, here 0 0. So suppose that alpha is dissociated, then it forms alpha because of 1 mole of calcium ion, and it forms 2 alpha because of 2 moles of nitrate ion is obtained. So want of factor I is equals to total number of ions, total number of moles at equilibrium. So 1 minus alpha plus 2 alpha, that means alpha cancel, means 1 plus 2 alpha, that is equals to I. This is the relationship between want of factor and degree of dissociation of an electrolyte. Now the relationship between degree of ionization and the want of factor can be expressed are as follows, means degree of dissociation, degree of ionization is equals to I minus 1 upon n minus 1. In order to simplify, that means n alpha minus alpha is equals to I minus 1, means I is equals to n alpha minus alpha, that is 1. It can also be used when degree of ionization and want of factor are used. Clear? Where I is a want of factor, n is the number of particles after dissociation. Clear? Listen, the most important key point is when I is greater than 1, that means dissociation. When I is less than 1 means association. Clear? When I is equals to 1, neither dissociation nor association. Clear? Means in this case the solute does not ionize. Clear? For example, suppose that potassium ferrocyanide K4 FeCN6 whose ionization is 40% in aqueous solution. Now you have to calculate the value of want of factor I. Clear? Listen, first of all you have to write the chemical equation regarding potassium ferrocyanide means K4 FeCN6, it gives 4K plus and FeCN6 minus 4. So when we observe the number of particles after dissociation, 4 moles of potassium and 1 moles of ferrocyanide ion means the number of moles is 5, number of molecules is 5 after dissociation, and alpha degree of ionization is given 40%. That means 40 upon 100 means 0.4. So I is equals to n alpha minus alpha plus 1 n 5 alpha 0.4 plus 1. So 2 minus 0.4 plus 1 means 3 minus 0.4, that is 2.6. This is the want of factor of potassium ferrocyanide. This formula is applicable when the degree of ionization and want of factor are given. Now when we compare the normal colligative property and abnormal colligative property. Normal colligative property, number first, when we observe the lowering of vapor pressure. What is lowering of vapor pressure? P0 minus Ps upon P0 equals to small n upon small n plus capital N. This shows the relative lowering of vapor pressure is equal to mole fraction of solute. Clear? But when this formula is applicable for the abnormal colligative property, so the P0 minus Ps upon P0, then small n upon small n plus capital N, which is multiplied by want of factor I. Clear? So the next property is elevation of boiling point. Elevation of boiling point, that is delta TB equals to Kb into small m. Kb is molar elevation constant and m is the molality. Similarly, when this formula is valid for abnormal colligative property, so the delta TB is equals to Kb into m, which is multiplied by want of factor I. Clear? Now the depression of freezing point delta TF equals to Kf into m, but in this case delta TF equals to I Kf into m. Similarly, the next colligative property is osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure is equal to CRT, where C is a concentration. For this, osmotic pressure is equals to I CRT. So what we observed, the observation is normal colligative property is equals to I times abnormal colligative property. Clear? So keep revising all the colligative properties if you are able to understand the normal colligative property and abnormal colligative properties.